as the thumbnail reads, this will be sort of like an alternative history for what the Axis really wanted. So we're going to adjust this to make it look like back in the past so I can get this alternative universe through. For the sake of this scenario, the Sudetenland and Austria were already annexed and the Winter War has already happened. And with the invasion of the front, Germany had an extra part of land in Czechoslovakia, giving them a former ally. And then they turned to Poland, which which the Soviet Union had its own fair share, and they were going to split Poland 50-50. So Germany invaded Poland. Then, a couple weeks later, the Soviet Union joined in. This is similar to what actually happened, except it's going to get way weirder in the future when we're making this. And with Germany annexing Poland, they also gave themselves another ally. So with Poland and Slovakia as a former ally, they planned on blitzkrieging through France, but instead of blitzkrieging through it, they were going to go straight through the defenses, and they were going to go through Switzerland. And Yugoslavia in this scenario broke apart into all of these way earlier than it should have. So then Hungary started to take notice of what Germany was doing and thought it'd be a good idea to jump in with help. So with Hungary as a former ally, they took some of Slovakia, and they also got Transylvania, while the Soviet Union got Moldova, and Bulgaria joining in, making former lands as theirs as they claimed it would be. Romania, taking notice of why their land was being taken, they knew that there was like one thing left to do. They decided to join the Axis. So with all of these members in the Axis, the Yugoslavian part decided to join in as all of these, as Germany gave Italy this coastline. Germany took some of this, Hungary took northern Serbia, Romania took part of it, Bulgaria takes some of it, plus Macedonia. And the map would pretty much look like this. Now this area would be debated for later, but we all know who could have or would have, but in the end it went to Serbia for being most of the country being annexed. But in the meantime, the Axis powers did have a very big problem. Greece was invading Italy through Albania after Italy tried to attack Greece. Now with the entire southeastern Europe taken by the Axis, they decided to plan through invasion through Bulgaria and Romania, where their main supplies were coming from Germany, Poland, Hungary, northern Romania, some of Serbia, some of the Soviet Union with their factories, and all of Slovakia. With all of this and the power that they had, they overran Greece and Italy and Greece capitulated. Italy took coastline. Soviet Union gained this island for better support in Africa, and Africa will be another video. But in the meantime, we will focus on Europe. And with France and the United Kingdom, they were both at war still, but the Axis were dealing with the southern part of Europe. And in this scenario, we're going to call that the Southeastern European Blitzkrieg. And eventually, the southern Baltic states were seized by the Soviet Union as former territories. And Turkey joined the war, as the Soviet Union gained some land from Turkey just to go from a route from the Black Sea to their island to give them support. So support up for the Soviet Union. And with that, now they're going to focus on France and the United Kingdom. But then, here's the thing. Germany was planning to put fake defenses over French border to make them think that they were going to attack. And then they were going to go up through Denmark and Norway. And hopefully get Finland as an ally to counterattack Sweden. Then the plan worked, giving them much more as they were going to attack France for real this time. The invasion of Norway and Denmark, they did manage to get Finland as an ally, but one problem. This small part. As I mentioned before, that they had the Winter War. So they had an agreement to split it 50-50. So with a little bit of more land than Finland used to have, now Finland was officially an ally. Now they were going to attack through there, here, and naval invade through their capital. And Finland was just going to straight up invade through northern Sweden. Sweden's capital eventually got taken by the Finnish through a naval invasion, and Sweden capitulated. So with Sweden taken out, Finland annexed their capital, such as a bunch of major factories and cities. And with that out of the way, they also took some land. Germany basically annexed nearly the entire southern Sweden, and this is now a part of a puppet. This is part of Russia. And now Finland, actually the Helsinki government, the Helsinki governmental finance, the Finnish, well, Finland, otherwise is Finn, in abbreviation, Finnish International Nations, Finnish of International Nations, as they were now international because as they thought taking this part of Sweden, I really never written a script, so there we have. And I might do pausing because I really don't have a script. I'm just throwing what I'm thinking at you guys. So then Germany was going to blitzkrieg into France through multiple angles, such as Italy. Italy would later annex this, but for now it would be independent. And Monaco, in this scenario, I really never edited, however you want to call it. I never really edit it out for this scenario because we're going to make it independent. But maybe later. So they blitzkrieged, taking down Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg in just a week, invading Switzerland, making them a puppet, and then taking Paris. So with France now out of the way, Luxembourg was just completely annexed. The puppet of Benelux is now German puppet. Some of it on the German border was annexed. Alsace-Lorraine from World War I, when Germany used to own it, was annexed. But with Western Europe now out of the way, we have to focus on one. England. England was helping France in the war. And they did build a bridge in this scenario. And that gave the Germans to land just a tiny bit into England. But then Ireland joined them, and Ireland was also invaded, becoming the international French-Irish continue, or what was it? Congress, the International French-Irish Congress, as they took over that part of England. With England distracted about that, they took up out of Wales and reached London so quick England was starting to freak out. And with the bombing of multiple English cities, a lot of them actually burnt out. And then, officially, London was taken and England capitulated. So as southern England with London was now completely annexed by the Germans, England became a puppet while Scotland just flat out got its independence. And yes, I recolored it green because I don't want it looking like this just to confuse anybody. So with Europe now secured, Germany did end up annexing Iceland later. And with Iceland annexed, they had North America, but North America was for a different video. Then they found some islands, which were Norwegian because Norway never told anybody about the islands. But Germany, little did they know, they were more focused on the actual mainland of Norway, not the islands. So with Norway completely out of the war and all of these powerful countries, they turned all of their eyes to the Soviet Union. This entire Axis powers just declared war on one simple country. So Turkey completely wiped out Russian Turkey, Soviet Turkey, in just a couple days before Bulgaria could get their troops from the Western Front to the east. Then Italy and Turkey raced to see who would get as much Soviet island Greek as possible. As this was becoming a crisis, as Turkey started invading through the Transcaucasus. So as they were going up mainland Russia, Germany took 3 million troops all over the entire border and invaded. So as the Baltic states got their independence, Germany annexed some of it. Turkey annexed some of the Transcaucasus. Germany made a puppet of the Soviet Union to take the entire country. And with the help of Japan from the south, there was a lot to debate over. With Japan invading from the south, and they started going up north, Japanese were now completely on the side of Russia. And then they started to dig in. But then Russia, fighting as hard as possible for the Battle of Moscow, they nearly had the entire city before Stalin killed himself, similar to what Hitler did in our reality. So with Stalin dead, the Soviet Union collapsed, becoming a weak Siberian republic. As some of these ideas that were created come from the group education, so what I am glad to say is I would like to see him or something. I would like to get some of video ideas from him or some of you guys. So if you don't mind commenting down below on what I should do next, could you guys please? So anyway, a weak Siberian republic. Kazakhstan got some independence, except as Kazakhstan was, but don't get me wrong, this is now Kazakhstan. This Central Asian Republic. And then above that, we have the Siberian Republic. A very weak one, as it wasn't an ally it just got independence because Hitler was generous enough for having Stalin help them out. But since Stalin's dead, they annexed a whole bunch of things and creating a very strong Axis powers. In Japan, taking a lot of Russia itself. Now this is the Siberian Republic. This is the alternative universe of the Axis powers winning in Europe. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.